Welcome in, everyone. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, if you appreciate the fact this is going to be the last live stream that I'm managing to squeeze in before things become a little hectic here towards the end of the back half of the week with some business travel, make sure you show some make sure you show some love. Make sure you show some love by hitting the thumbs up, dropping me a comment, and clicking that bell icon. Double icon. For notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. Guys, welcome in. Full disclosure, I could have gone live a little bit earlier, but chose to use the time wrapping up something at work. Plus, I downed a dinner that was very filling. So right before the live stream, I was like, man, I can't go on right now. So, but anywho, I hope everyone is having a great day. Todd, super chats are never appreciated. Man, I'm all over the place. Super chats are never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you, kind sir. Always appreciate the support. Guys, originally what I was going to do today was, I'm sorry, by the way, oof, let's fucking go. By the way, originally today what I was going to do is I was going to go into the alt pairings that we looked at, which I have a note of right here. I have a note of all the strongest alt pairings in the top 100. That's going to be a little bit of a longer live stream, and I quite frankly do not have time for that today. So instead, we're going to push that off to next week when I have a little bit more time. Things get back to kind of normal next week. But what we're going to do today instead, which I think you'll be happy about, I'm just going to pull up some charts perhaps we haven't looked at in a bit. I'm going to speak to what I'm seeing, charts that I think you'd be interested in. And I'm also going to take a few TA questions, so feel free to drop them in here. But I do have a hard stop. We're not going to be doing a super long live stream today. It might actually be sub 30 minutes. So let's get right into things. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about on the Bitcoin chart here. We're just chipping and chopping in this range. Price is deciding what it wants to do. Whether this is just another lower high coming in, we're going to roll over towards that 48 to 52 zone, which I think is the higher likelihood scenario. Or if we're just, Bitcoin's going to say, fuck that. I don't care about price confluence and what makes the most logical sense. I'm just going to start going up and creating higher highs and higher lows. We'll have to see. But that's really what's going on in Bitcoin. Nothing too exciting. Dominance looks weak as shit, which we spoke to the other day. Let's take a look at the DXY. We haven't looked at the DXY in a long time. Not a long time. I think it's been like maybe a week. We're just sort of riding this line right now. Riding this uptrend. This is on the weekly. So we'll have to see. It'll be interesting when this 104 level breaks, if it does, and I'm suspecting it will. But right now, I mean, you can see, let's get this out of the way. You can see right now, we're pinched in here. Look at this. They say charting doesn't work. Well, not you. You know charting works. But look at the general uptrend and look at the descending line of resistance. We're coiling up here, so it's got to make a decision. If I was a betting man, I'd say we're ultimately going down, but we'll have to see. Got lower highs coming in on the RSI. Trying to see some negative divergences here if I see any on some of these higher time frames. Nothing really there. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to be patient. But let's get into... Let's take a look at the top 10. We can certainly take a look at GameStop. Absolutely. I saw something about it the other day about somebody taking a big bet on it. Anything that looks interesting? You know what we haven't looked at in quite some time? We've looked at Solana. We know the price levels there. We haven't really looked at... I feel like we haven't looked at Ethereum in a bit. XRP is time traveling back to the year 2018 at 30 cents. Go XRP. There are people out there that still think XRP is going to flip Bitcoin. I don't know what drugs those people are on, but... Okay. So What is going on with Ethereum? Well, actually, I would assess this chart, almost looks like we broke downward resistance. We've come down to sort of backtest this descending area of resistance as support. What I really want to see is this area right around $2,800 hold. If 28 holds, okay, let's take this off for the moment. And we only have a 50 simple moving average on here. Let's stick a 20. How's the 20 looking? Okay. Keep in mind, we have all these, again, I keep things so stupid simple on here. We could come all the way down here to 2,500. If we start coming down to 2,200, I'd be a little bit concerned because then you're toying around with breaking below 2,000. So as long as 2,500 holds, it would be very nice if the double bottom here held at about 2,800. But ultimately, I want to see around 2,500 hold. So we could still see about 15% downside to Ethereum, and I'd be fine. But really not a lot has changed on this chart. Really, the market, which is guided by the developments of price action on Bitcoin, is trying to decide what it wants to do. It's really, I felt like I was saying this a couple weeks ago as we were chipping and chopping around. It's true. The market, once again, is at an inflection point. It's at an inflection point. It's trying to decide what it wants to do. And ultimately, this chart is going to be, this chart is going to be the deciding chart to tell us at this inflection point the direction of the overall market, not just the direction of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts to move down towards the 48 to 52, if you do get a capitulatory event, maybe you get a wick coming in here to 45 or 44. We've spoken about all the price confluence on Bitcoin between essentially 44 and 52. If you get some sort of a capitulatory wick in there, the market's going to have some sort of strong reactionary movement to the downside. If Bitcoin sort of levels out here, maybe we get one sort of scam wick and we do the more unlikely scenario and we start moving up, you're going to see your altcoins start to really get propped up here pretty strongly. So that's not too much new in Ethereum. Again, trying to decide what it wants to do. We want this stochastic RSI to begin to curl back up similar to Bitcoin on the weekly to try to express momentum in the market. We need momentum to begin to pick up in some of these larger altcoins. Because keep in mind, the other thing to be mindful of is the more strong of a price reaction we get on some of these larger altcoins, the more that's taking dominance away from Bitcoin, and it's helping this chart, okay? And we want to see this break down. Again, I've been out here telling you specifically what to look for a clear signal that alt season is beginning. It's not just a break of the descending line here. It's break of 53, and it's confirmation, because more than likely once we break 53, we're going to try to get back up here. It's confirmation we're not, this isn't just a deviation. This is the true signs of a trend reversal to the downside. At that point, then, once that's been confirmed, a confirmed break below 53, then alt season should ensue, in my opinion. And to help with that movement down on Bitcoin dominance, you need players like Ethereum to do very well. We can take a look at XRP real quick. Again, I'm not trolling a community or taking a shit in anyone. Again, for a long time, I've been a proponent of what Ripple is going after with XRP and payment remittances. I am extremely familiar with the product and the project, I guess you could say. I'm a Brad Garlinghouse fan myself. But you can see what's going on here is there's a break not only of the uptrending line, which was bound to break at some point, given the price action, but we're starting even to just lose this golden zone that I spoke about. You can see we're all the way down here at 38 cents. I just don't like the way this chart looks. And again, it lends credence to itself that, I'm not saying we're not going to get a pop off and, you're going to see XRP above $1 or close to $2. It just needs to sustain some of its price movements. And that's why, again, based on the weak chart here, I don't see this thing keeping a firm grasp on the top 10. Doge, Sheep, I don't know. We've talked at nauseam about all meme coins. I did want to dedicate a live stream to meme tokens, so maybe I'll reserve comments. They're all cooling off. Ton has been a huge, I actually put a Ton video out there. I don't know if you guys are aware. I created a Ton video, And this was many, many, many months ago. And I know ton at that point was at $2. So, I mean, we've more than 4x since then. But very, very, very strong chart. I mean, this is the true definition. You can see I haven't updated this in a while because I have red lines of resistance in here. But this is the true sign of a strong chart, right? We had this massive sell-off here from 2022 into the middle to late portion of 22. And then what began to happen? All we were doing this whole time was building higher highs and higher lows. This is sort of actually an ascending triangle, more I look at it kind of here. And then we broke out. A very, very bullish chart. There's no reason. I've always said you want to ride your winners. You want to, unless if something fundamentally breaks down on a chart and you're invested in something, you should continue to, as I had shared with you, I've taken this opportunity in the market to reassess my own portfolio positions and lessen the weight on certain assets I've been allocated to and stick them in assets I feel more convicted on, primarily based on the charts. The charts, again, this live stream is called All in the Charts. I'm not here for the fundamental, as much as I love the fundamentals and I can talk fundamentals with you guys. My bread and butter is technical analysis. And so I'm not here to talk to you about some revolutionary asset that's going to change the world. I'm talking about the chart. The only thing lately that I fundamentally have spoken to are the fundamentals supporting CASPA. And the reason for that is because that, for me, that investment decision that I made when I started to really pour a lot of my capital into that asset at much lower rates was based on something what I would deem to be very unique, which was a combination of very strong fundamentals and very strong technicals. You don't find that quite often in this space. That's a unicorn. You do not find many assets in this space that are extremely strong fundamentally and technically. It's just not, it's hard to come across. Let's take a look at Cardano. Oh, here's a unique chart. So actually, fuck looking at Cardano. Let's take a look at the ADA XRP chart. So what this is, now the orange line is the moving average. Okay, it's a 20 simple moving average. This is Cardano charted against XRP. So it's ADA, it's the ADA XRP chart. Okay, the more this chart is increasing in value, the more bullish it is for ADA, and vice versa for XRP, the more bearish it is, right? If we're going down in value like here, it either means that XRP is outperforming ADA one way or the other. It's either declining less or increasing more, but it's outperforming it. You can see we're in a general uptrend here, so it'll be interesting to see how this chart looks a year from now, whether ADA will continue to outperform XRP or what this is really going to look like. If I had to take a guess, I would say we're not going to really see much outperformance here. This might come up into this range here and then eventually just roll over. But we shall see. Other charts. Let's take a look at the mid caps. Actually, I did want to get into, there was a question. There was a question on GME. Oof had asked, so I did want to get to that. Let's see. I have not looked at this chart in a while. What do we got going on? Oh, but this is, I mean, you can again, show me a chart and I'll tell you the story. Oof, that's an ugly 10-day candlestick, actually. Ugh. Look at that. Look at this candle right here. Look at that thin green body. Look at the thin green body and the huge wick. That's pretty nasty. It's interesting because when you put it on a Heikin-Ashi view on a 10-day, show me a chart and I'll tell you the story. I actually see more of a pennant formation here for a potential bull flag, but not on the non-Heikin-Ashi view. Now, the Heikin-Ashi view, interestingly enough, was the view that lended itself to the falling wedge for me when I had first wanted to take a trade in this around $14. 12 to 14 was what I wanted to get in. We ended up bottoming at 10. And my stupid interactive brokers account, I don't even know if the account ever opened, but had struggles there. Yeah, this is just a very high beta play. Now, the one thing I will say, did I keep this on the Heikinashi, or is this on the regular now? I'm losing track. Let's go to regular candles. Now, the one thing I do like to see here on the 3-day, we are maintaining price action back above the 200 simple moving average. That's great to see. This is going to want to, as long as we can sustain price action at and above roughly 22 bucks, this 50 is going to want a golden cross with the 200, which would be nice. But you can see on the weekly, we're really struggling to get above the 200 SMA. This is one of these things, if you wanted to take a trade position in it, I would go for it. This isn't one where I would personally invest in it the way the chart looks. If I was looking to establish an entry in this right now, never financial advice, but if I wanted to, let's say I have my interactive brokers card right here. If I logged into my account and found, wow, that is the second time I've done that. Give me 1 second. Wow. I don't know if anyone here I'm not going to get all religious with everyone here, but I don't know who here believes in God and who here doesn't believe in God. But I will say this: it's almost as if God Himself is saying, "CBG, while I'm proud of you for decreasing your alcohol intake for your health, you're drinking too many diet sodas lately. This is the second time on air I have spilled a diet soda. Who the hell else on live streams spills things as often as I do?" Oh, yeah. I gotta have to clean that up afterwards. Anyway, what I was going to say is if I went into my interactive brokers account, and I was able to establish a trade, while it's not financial advice, what I would still be looking for is this yellow zone. Now, the nice thing I like about this yellow zone is, this auto scaling is, there's so much volatility on this chart. I can't scale this right. The nice thing I like about this zone is you're back testing the descending black line of resistance here, and you're also entering a prior area of price confluence, not to mention on the weekly here, the 50 simple moving average lines up right here. So anywhere really between 17 and 14, that's where I would look to establish an entry. If you are establishing a trade position in this thing right now, and again, I'm not looking at options and paying attention to all that stuff, but just purely based on the chart, if you were to establish a position as high as up at 25, I personally would just have a very tight stop loss in play. That's just me. But all right, who else do we have in the live stream here? I did want to take a look at mid caps. Oh, buddy boy. We can take a quick look at Caspa. Absolutely. Glad to have you on the live stream. Jep, I do see you comment quite frequently on my posts, which I appreciate the engagement as always. I'm still pissed at myself. Let's take a very quick look at Caspa. We routinely cover here. I mean, Caspa is just waiting for a break to new all-time highs. It's just playing around with the rest of the market. Let's just focus on the high time frames, guys. I mean, I don't really know what else to tell you. When you look at a view like this, anything around the blue line, which is the 10 simple moving average, this is the weekly, anything under there is a huge buying opportunity historically. MACD is looking good, stochastic RSI is at a healthy level. RSI is really waiting to break above. RSI is nowhere near overheated. It's at sub 60. Once it starts getting up to the 80, 90 category, that's when you're overheated. We have plenty of room to the upside on the weekly. If we look at the 2-week, I thought I had a 2-week chart in here. Yeah. I thought there was something I was showing on the 2-week. So this is this Heikinashi? This is Heikinashi. We've flipped green. The MACD just turned positive on the 2-week. And again, the other thing, and again, do you notice when I'm charting here, I'm keeping things very, very simple, guys. And there's consistency in terms of the main indicators that I look at. The MACD, the RSI, the stochastic RSI, right? Consistency. Welcome in, Track. Good to see you. But on this chart, what I'm looking for here is I want to see if the momentum in the chart is beginning to pick up. And yes, it is. And the reason I say that is because we have the positive cross on the stochastic RSI, and it's above 20. The relative strength index is at 73 on the 2-week, and we have plenty of room to the upside here. It doesn't look like we really start to get overheated until we're above 90. So again, this is, again, whether this takes a week or 4 weeks or 5 weeks, this looks like it is most likely going to have a significant break to the upside. You're going to be looking at a 20-cent easily plus CASPA, 25-cent plus CASPA. Yeah, I've spoken to that plenty of times in the past, Jep. Actually, it's interesting you bring that up. Let's pick one more chart here. Let's see, seeing what time it is here. I didn't think it was this late. Jesus. You know what chart I do want to take a look at with you guys? I would like to take a look at render with you. Not much going on in H-bar, Kyle. No updates. Chart's really just kind of being honest with you. I mean, it's doing a nice job maintaining its market position. It's at 32, which is great. It's more than most projects can say. But in terms of the chart, it's looking Render is right in the zone that I spoke about. Now, the nice thing is you can see, this is on a 2-day chart. We have this beautiful uptrend here that's being respected. And it's not to say that at some point this will continue to maintain itself, because at some point this uptrending line, I don't care if it's next month or 24 months from now, this uptrending line will break. Mark my words. I'm not guaranteeing you, but it's about as close to a guarantee as I can get. Because if we looked at this thing going into infinity, the price is unsustainable. But the degree to which it respects this upsloping line expresses a higher degree of strength within the chart. This area, in my opinion, while it could break and we could come down to 460, the $4 area, this is an extremely logical area to be buying more render if you own it, or considering to establish a position if you don't. We're still waiting for some of these technicals to turn around. I do like to see MACD looks, it's trying to flatten out. RSI is trying to flatten out too. It's oversold. The one thing I do like to see here, I'm noticing, is the stochastic RSI has begun to sort of increase here, and we're getting above the 20 trigger line on the 2-day. So something to watch for here. But render is at a very, very, very advantageous price level. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for today. Yeah, I did have an interaction with Credible Crypto on here, and just wasn't seeing eye to eye on what he was viewing. Of course, the perspective, actually, the more I read his comment, the more I was actually getting confused why he would still be positioned the way he is. But I'm taking an investor perspective. Healthy, first off, like I said about Casper, healthy disagreement is very healthy amongst friends. He's taking more of a longer term, high conviction trade view. I'm taking an investment view. The CRV chart looks horrendous. You could have said it was undervalued at 40, 50, 60 cents, 30 cents, and it's gone down tremendously in value. But who am I to say that his strategy won't work off, because he's obviously an extremely successful trader based on what he has shared online. So he knows what he's talking about. I still think we have a difference of opinion. It's not apples to apples what we're talking about, but still, I don't know that I share his view, but it's okay to disagree. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Until next time, let's all spread awareness and carry the education forward. I will not be back here, as a reminder, until next Monday due to business travel. So everyone take care. I'll try to be on Twitter. You can follow me at CryptoBullGod as much as possible. Take care, everybody.